Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and I've got 5 more albums that you do not want to miss for the month of July. But before I do that, if you'd like to stay up to date with the best and brightest metal albums and bands from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. I upload new content every single week. Let's get into it. Alright, first up we've got aggro industrial metal crew Dawn of Ashes continuing to feed the unrest with the Antinomian via Artifact Records. I've got to say, Dawn of Ashes have come a long way in just 4 years since initially catching my attention with Theophany. What started out as more of an electronic black metal project ripe for touring with the likes of Motionless and White has since matured into a full-on industrial powerhouse. Hot on the heels of Skinny Puppy, but with the danceable violence of Mindless Faith, the band blew me away just last year with the Crypt Injection 2 Non Servium, which was a welcome left turn from the previously kind of uninspired Demonolatry Gnosis. Dawn of Ashes seem to be continuing this trajectory even further now on the Antinomian, with the help of underground label Artifact Records. Alongside the likes of Frontline Assembly, Three Teeth, and even Skinny Puppy's own Kevin Key, what follows is another set of electronic drum and synth-driven club anthems, but far from the Jaeger bombs and Affliction t-shirts of the main strip. Complemented by harshly distorted vocals and harrowingly dark atmosphere, this is music for that gothic, windowless chic, surrounded by pleather pants and black tattoos contrasting with sickly pale skin. The type of place Deacon Frost would get a drink.
Maybe it's time we forgot about discretion.
Jesus Christ, is that movie already 22 years old? While falling perhaps just slightly short of the bite of its predecessor, the Antinomian is easily one of the best industrial albums I have heard this year. Dawn of Ashes continue to make my short list of modern bands in the genre to keep up with that are absolutely non-negotiable. Next up, we've got Bury Tomorrow further maturing their sound with Cannibal via Music for Nations and Sony. Bury Tomorrow caught my attention back in 2018 with their previous album, Black Flame, and I am pleased to see them back again with obvious growth on this new release. Cannibal represents another largely successful fusion of classic metalcore hooks and screams a la As I Lay Dying and August Burns Red, with almost Sevendust level drama, clean singing, for a result most readily comparable to the now defunct Textures. Across the board, Bury Tomorrow have seriously stepped up their songwriting chops with compositions that are consistently as catchy as any of those bands' most anthemic songs. This is thanks to both stellar riffing and the aforementioned two-pronged vocal approach that also at times draws praiseworthy comparisons to Killswitch Engage in addition to the other groups I've already mentioned. I'm also picking up on some Architects influence this time around with the gentier parts on tracks like Choke and Dark Infinite. Just 2 listens in and I was already singing along to the highly infectious choruses and banging my head like crazy. Add Bury Tomorrow to my ever-growing list of excellent metalcore bands poised to turn the genre around in 2020. Then we've got Portland-based noise, rock, and sludge group Ills dropping their debut album via Pogo. Ill's previous EP, Pain Do Not Hurt, was a surprise hit for me in 2019, and one of the few rock records even worth a damn in a mostly dead genre, if you ask me. Hearing those tracks now as part of this fully fleshed out release only furthers my excitement over the potential of this band. Listening to Curse is like experiencing a supergroup made up of members of Clutch and Daughters that also detours into jizzlobber levels of Mike Patton's most harsh and depraved moments. This vocal dichotomy makes Ills the perfect band for rock and metal listeners alike, with an aesthetic that runs the gamut from psychedelic desert stoner sludge of Curse and Noose to the pounding, driving metallic hardcore of Bad Parts and returning favorite No Luck. If you're like me and either grew up during the grunge and noise heights of 90s alternative radio, or just miss hearing actual rock music instead of the highly filtered, bastardized version we get today, I implore you to pick up Curse right now. Alright, and continuing on with Portland bands, we've got Aseitas challenging the mind and punching the gut with their doozy of a sophomore album, False Peace via Lizard Brain Records. Now, at just shy of an hour and 15 minutes, False Peace is one of the most daunting listening experiences I've had since Warforged Voice last year. But just as with that album, Aseitas managed to justify the length with impressively progressive songwriting and a number of styles, volumes, and textures. Some songs, especially in the first half, dive headlong into noisy and highly technical depths of extreme metal on par with the likes of Piran. By the way, don't miss my review of their latest insanity. While others in the latter, like Spite Sermon and Blood into Oil, venture into more heady and lengthy post-metal territory. A fitting range for a band whose name means a total autonomy of one's existence, and lists King Crimson, Gojira, and Jute Geit among their influences. Says the band, "We are advancing the most sinister material to date. False Peace needed to be a more punishing and abstract experience, like if our debut album took bath salts and grew a second set of fangs and scales. Playing out like a spectacular singularity of Cult Leader, Carbomb, and once more Piran and Warforged, False Peace is another remarkable achievement of an album that continues to elevate 2020 as a thrilling first chapter to a new decade in metal. With so much going wrong in the world, at least we get a killer soundtrack to go along with it." And last but most certainly not least, we have Pennsylvania cyber death metal project ZOMBIESHARK serving up digital brutality with their new album, I Will Destroy You, Myself, and Everything I've Ever Loved. You may or may not have caught my reaction video for the track Hellworld, but let me tell you that ZOMBIESHARK was wise to choose this as the lead single for their album. It does an incredible job of summarizing the disparate elements at play, an unlikely mashup of haunting Lynchian ambience, brutal deathcore breakdowns, club-worthy synthesizers and breakbeats, and even a hint of Fear Factory-fashioned industrial metal riffing for good measure. It seems like it shouldn't work, but over the course of these 23 minutes, I am repeatedly blown away at just how well it does. Corey let me know that he has been nervous about how the departures from his Nintendo Core roots would be received, but I assured him that his experimentation and hard work has paid off in spades. Seriously, the pacing and dynamics of this thing are stunning, from the stupid heavy death metal vocals and inhuman blasts of grinders like 100 Likes and Red Pyramids Kill Each Other, to the wispy, drifting Blade Runner-esque interludes. I'm even picking up on echoes of The Faint on some of the lighter portions with the surprisingly emotional clean singing. Honestly, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect from this album going into it, but let me tell you that with its brisk, airtight runtime, I can scarcely put it down. Honestly, it's quickly made my list of standout albums from 2020 so far, and the fans seem to be just excited, selling out the first run of cassettes and very cleverly packaged action figure-style hard drives. Do yourself a favor and pick up a copy for yourself ASAP. And that'll do it, y'all. 5 more albums that you definitely do not want to miss, and you'll find links to all these down in the description, along with our social media, the email newsletter, and our Patreon and Subscribestar if you want to make that extra leap to becoming a supporter. But most importantly, stick around because there's plenty more videos like this one to enjoy. There's other review roundups, single album reviews, album tier lists, the podcast where I get to interview these very interesting bands, and so much more. So again, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button, and down in the comments, let us know which of these was your favorite, which one you ended up buying, and why you enjoyed it so much. But that'll do it for this video. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.